it's your first WrestleMania. Then what's the big difference? Still nervous? Is that something that makes you nervous?
I don't know if I'm nervous, but I'm definitely excited. It's something that everybody you've talked to probably today has waited to do for years. And some of us it's our first, some of us it's not. But from what I understand from talking to the guys, like regardless of whether it's the first or not, it's always such a thrill. And I don't know. It's just. It's what I was 11 years old when I first saw WrestleMania, and now I get to be a part of it. It's just a whole I don't know, variety of emotions, honestly, but excited's probably the top one.
Happy to be able to do it with Sami Zayn?
Yeah, it definitely makes things more special. Part of me wishes it was just me and him in the ring. I won't lie, but all those other guys deserve to be there too. It's actually pretty special to be in the ring with Stardust because of the connection we've had through, Dusty and, Zack Ryder is a guy who's always dreamed of having a WrestleMania moment, and even though he's been on WrestleMania before, he's really, he was kind of in a forgettable match and a forgettable, situation. Miz is a guy who main evented WrestleMania, but since then hasn't exactly set the world on fire through no fault of his own, really. So he's looking to make a big impact, and Dolph Ziggler's for years told everybody he's the best, and he's trying to prove that too. Sin Cara, never had that chance, never had the chance to be on such a stage either. So everybody that's in that match, it's a special match for everyone, and it's cool to be a part of it with all those guys.
It's also a very risky match. It's a ladder match, and you're obviously a big guy. So any special preparations for that? And
I've been in ladder matches before, whether it was before WWE or even since. I had a ladder match last year with Finn Balor. I'm pretty comfortable around ladders. I'm pretty comfortable around tables, chairs, stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm not too concerned. It's more the number of guys in the match. 7 guys with a bunch of ladders around. There's a lot of possibilities for just chaos. But I find that a big appeal of the match. I like chaos. I like things to be unpredictable, and there's definitely that aspect of the match.
Yeah. You've had your history of knee injuries and some kind of stuff like this. How do you stay in shape and prevent that anything bad happens?
Injuries are just a part of what we do. They'll happen. There's no way to prepare for an injury.
Yeah.
You're right. My main injuries have always been stuff with my knees.
Yeah.
But you just kind of deal with them when they happen. You can't really predict. You can't prepare for them. You can't really train against them either. Honestly, the best you can do is stretch and keep your body used to the strains of being in the ring, and that's what I do by wrestling 5 nights a week. You know? That's just part of what we do. There's really no way to get around it. You just kind of accept it and move on when it happens.
Is the WWE tougher and takes more of a toll on your body than wrestling 5 days a week?
Yeah, I feel like it's just more like wear and tear than anything else. I don't feel like my matches are easier or harder than they were on the independent scene. I work as hard as I did there. My body's already conditioned to what we do. The issue is more doing it so often, so many times in a row. I don't have specific injuries. Everything feels decent on me, but once in a while I'll reach for a glass and my shoulder. Oh, what is that? Or I'll turn the steering wheel and be like, oh man, my wrist. What is that? Nothing happened. It's just part of what we do.
You've made a huge impact in your first year in WWE. I mean, the thing that you're not the typical WWE guy from the look, you don't have the typical WWE look, has been always a topic. After you've made that impact and you've seen where you can go in WWE, do you feel there's any limit from now there on?
You know what? I've heard so many times that my look would limit me, and I got this far. And since getting here, I've been Intercontinental Champion twice. I've beaten John Cena. I've main evented Raw. I've main evented SmackDown. I've been in the ring with Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, all the top guys. And I'm at WrestleMania this year. So it's kind of hard for me to believe that the way I look will ever be a problem. I feel like I'm different. I don't know. Some people can say it's a cop-out. I've always believed the way I looked was part of who I am, and it's worked so far. So I don't think that who I am as a performer would work if I was, 230 pounds, ripped, and golden tan. I just don't. That's not me. What has gotten me here is me. Some people might hate that, and I know people hate that. Like other wrestlers hate that. I got here the way I am, while they slave at the gym 6 days a week and can't get here because the bottom line is they don't have what I have. This wouldn't work for everyone. Like this body type and the way I look wouldn't work for everybody. I'm probably an exception to the rule, but I'm so proud of that. And I don't plan on changing anytime soon.
I mean, I'm from Germany. We're from Germany. We have our WWE hopes as well. We have Axel Tischer, Alexander Wolf, who's in NXT. There's the thing always going around that our former German national keeper Tim Wiese might be heading to WWE.
Is that the giant dude?
The giant dude, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. I think he came to a tryout in WWE and
Tim Wiese
did not fare very well. I'm pretty sure he walked in and realized that what we do is a lot harder than he expected. I don't want to say anything. This is just what I've heard. Because you know what? He's a dude you look at and think that guy would be a phenomenal wrestler and he'd be WWE superstar for sure. But you know what? I don't know if it's for him. Axel, who doesn't look like that dude, he's a wrestler. And he's probably going to make it. Because he's got something, like, you can't tell. You know what I mean? Like, you think you know who would... You think you know when you look at people who would probably be a big star. Sometimes you get real surprised. You know, if I was to put my money on either of those guys, that Tim Wiese or Axel, I would put all my money on Axel. If you ask me which one of these two guys is going to be a WWE superstar, everyone will go to Tim. My money's on Axel. You know.
What is the special thing? What is the special thing on Axel? I mean, there's been a lot of wrestlers been casted in Germany, and he's the one who got the break.
I can't answer that. You know, I had only seen Axel maybe once before I saw him at the Performance Center, but clearly there's something in him that someone somewhere saw and thought, hey, we can use this. And from what I hear, he's doing really well on NXT, and things are starting to roll, you know, in his way, like in his favor. He's on the NXT live events, and he's doing pretty good. And you know, more than anything, he has a good attitude, which is very important at the Performance Center. So I think the sky's the limit for him.
Okay. I mean, you've been in Germany. There's been the big wrestling hype. It's more in the 1990s. It was the era when you were a fan. You mean you've been influenced by Owen Hart. You named your kid after him. I guess that's where your son's name also comes from. Now you're on stage. You're influencing a lot of kids. A lot of kids that watch you, and maybe I don't know what they're calling their kids, Kevin or Owen. So I don't know. When you think of it, is there a scary thought, or what's the thing you can teach them?
You know, I'll do this thing before live events, especially where I'll look out the curtain at the beginning of the show, and you know, I'll see all these people in the crowd waiting for the show to start, and I remember sitting in that crowd. From the time I was 11 to, man, I was going to WWE shows until I was like 30. You know, so I think that a lot. You know, like these kids are going to be watching me later, and who knows what they'll take away from tonight. You know, I watch WWE shows, and I took away from it something that now is my life and the reason why I can provide for my children and my wife. And maybe there's kids out there that are watching me and will be inspired to do something like that. I'll never claim to be an inspiration for anybody because I find that very arrogant. But, you know, if any kids look at me and that helps them realize that maybe they could do this because I'm not like everybody else and they're not like everyone else, great. You know, I always said, like, people ask me, what do you have any advice for kids trying to become wrestlers? And I said it earlier today, it sounds like a John Cena catchphrase, but the one thing I'd say is don't let anyone tell you can't, because that's not true. So.
You've always saying that you're a family man, but with being in WWE, there's a lot of traveling involved. So is it hard for you to be away from your family?
It's the hardest part, for sure, of what we do. And I love being a WWE superstar, but, you know, we get to be in the ring for 10 to 30 minutes a night, 5 times a week. but we travel. You know, I leave my house Friday morning, I come back Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I see my kids 2 days a week. I see my wife 2 days a week. I'm lucky that she's amazing and she's willing to support me. And my kids are willing to accept what I do for a living, and my parents are there to help. But you know, it's just part of the sacrifice to secure a great future for us. And you know, they know that it's always been my dream. And if anything, to me, that's one thing that I want to instill in my kids is you got to follow your dreams.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The big match of WrestleMania, Undertaker, Shane McMahon. Are you hoping the Undertaker makes it so that you can still fight him?
Yeah, you know, I was really holding out for this year. Like at one point, I thought it was going to be my year. I thought I was going to get to wrestle Undertaker, and it didn't go that way, and that's fine. But I'd love to get to do it next year, of course.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I think we're done.
All right.